It's Wednesday night. It's 9 p.m. It's 90.1 WIUP FM. We're so happy to be here with you. It's local Limelight. We're bringing you the best live local music out of Indiana, Pennsylvania. I'm Hungry Joe.
Gentle Jake over here.
Dr. Cheeks.
Big Play Jay's back.
AAA Alan Goss.
And today in the studio we have...
Mr. Matthew Van Horn.
Oh, thanks so much for coming in, Matt. Speaking of live local Indiana music, you're a live local Indiana legend over here, bro. We're glad to have you on the radio today.
Yeah, it feels good to be here, man. I should be accompanied by my drummer, Anthony Capozzi, who's actually calling me right now.
We'll let him take that call. How about that?
Yeah, phone calls on the air.
Anthony, you're on the air. Where are you at?
I'm at the 90.1 door.
90.1. You came
We're
to the main
coming for
doors,
you.
right?
It's locked.
We're bringing him in right now. We
All right,
won't
he's
leave him out in the
here.
cold much longer. Hey, folks, just tuning in. It's local Limelight. We're going to do the best live local music out of Indiana, Pennsylvania. We have the last of our guests coming in tonight. Drummer for Herbivore, Anthony's coming in right now.
Yeah, he was slaving away tonight. He's still got to make money in the middle of doing all this fun stuff.
Not making money with can't live on Herbivore funds yet.
Not even close.
Well, we're so happy to have you here tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves? Where'd you come from? How'd you land up here?
So, where do I start? I guess I'll start with Anthony and I's history.
Yeah, where you born? How'd you meet each other?
Well, Herbivore was born right here in good old Indiana, PA. We used to work at a restaurant, an Italian restaurant, Bruno's, together. And I found out that he was pretty sick on the sticks, and I was a guitarist. So asked him one day if he wanted to jam, and he was a punk rocker, so I had to, calm him down a little bit, because he liked to slam a little bit, and I like a little bit more dynamic feel to my the music. So we started jamming, and we learned a lot of each other, and wrote a couple good songs, and met a bunch of other cool dudes, the other members of our band, Kevin Householder, Jake Geisel, Chris B, and Anthony actually introduced me to Nick Petruniak, who started to recorded an album in 3 days called The College Years, right on Philadelphia Street. So if you go to IUP, I feel like you need to listen to that album.
Oh, yeah. Check that stuff out online, because College Years is a good album. Nick did a great job. I mean,
Thanks,
it's a quintessential college classic, and I might be Herbivore's biggest cheerleader, but I mean it from the heart.
Yeah, Jay, he's been to most of our shows, which we appreciate greatly.
But a lot of people haven't, so let's give them a little taste of this beautiful Herbivore magic that's in the studio tonight.
All right, sounds good. I guess we'll start off with the most intense song of the night, just to get the ball rolling, Smokestacks. The first song on Herbivore's album, and the egg shaker's in the guitar case. All right, this one's called Smokestacks.
I got something on my mind that won't go away. every skipping stone must say. And it's from this misunderstanding that I could flush all that poisonous blood out from underneath my skin. Patience and respiration won't do me no good. Oh, I try to remember. Oh, I try to remember. And it's from this misunderstanding that I could flush all that poison out from underneath my skin. We'll detonate the smokestacks, dissipate my boiling blood, a conglomerate of drawbacks. It's got me paralyzed and choking on my own. We'll detonate the smokestacks. I can't handle all of that smog. You're spilling into my lungs. I'm dissatisfied and choking on my tongue, my own tongue. Thank you. Appreciate the snaps, guys.
Snaps in the studio. Herbivore is here on 90.1 WIUP FM on local Limelight. It's Wednesday night. If anybody just tuned in and thought they were listening to a big old pro radio track, you got WIUP FM and some great local artists in here.
Yeah, use it as a verb. You just got WIUPFM'd. You know? We got you. Local Limelight. We fooled you. I'm glad we did. And we're so happy to bring you Matt Van Horn tonight. Anthony just ran out of the studio, but I'm sure we'll get him back.
He's grabbing his egg shaker so it can give you more of an experience, I guess.
You were talking about dynamics, Matt, as you were ripping on punks a second ago, right?
Of course I wasn't ripping on punk. I'm a punk at heart, too. But a lot of punk music you listen to is a lot of the same chords, a lot of the same level of sound. It doesn't seem to really change much. So yeah, Capozzi, when I first met him, he was a punk rocker, and he slammed all the time. Just slam, slam, slam. So.
But when it comes to Herbivore, I mean, I think in terms of college bands, at least college bands I know around here, you are a standout in terms of the way that you play with dynamics, especially live. But I mean, on the album, sure. But live, man, it is a challenge to play with dynamics as much as you do.
Yeah, we really try to bring it from... we try to bring the intensity, but also bring it down to a level that's, I guess, pleasant to the ears as well. I think it's all, writing music's all about ups and downs, and it shouldn't just be that way track to track. It should be that way throughout the song, too.
You said you guys met at Bruno's, right? Working at Bruno's?
Yes.
So, getting to know each other over the years, what music have you introduced to each other? You know, is there any bands that you can really credit to the other guy for getting you into?
Yeah, you know what? Like Matt said, I kind of came up to IUP with a kind of a I don't know, direction in my head where what I wanted to play and what I wanted to hear. But Matt did introduce me to some, just like the Black Keys, and then I expanded from there. But we overlapped, especially with like RX Bandits, where it's like very dynamic, very intricate, but you have like the punk overtones, and you have even some of that ska overtone as well. And I noticed doing different when we played together in the basement. Starting out, I was doing different stuff on the drums I've never done before, and it's kind of just been going since.
Yeah, and like he said, like RX Bandits, one of my biggest influences. They have those kind of the punk ska overtones. But we don't really bring that with our music, with Herbivore. But if you catch Anthony and I jamming together solo, you'll hear a lot of that influence in our side projects and whatnot. So
Yeah, definitely. I've heard you guys let loose of those dynamics before in a beautiful way, but
yeah,
usually maintaining it. I wondered, Matt, I see you a lot on that big, lovely acoustic guitar, and then you've got a sweet electric guitar that you rip on too. What's your home in terms of guitars? Where did you start off? What was your first?
I started off on an electric guitar, but then I quickly got into acoustic playing. Andy McKee is one of my favorite instrumentalists of all time, so I started playing instrumentally on the acoustic guitar, which is where and how I developed a lot of my
finger picking skill and whatnot. And so I would say I feel far more comfortable on the acoustic guitar, though. Which, if you listen to the college years, most of the songs are actually an acoustic guitar, but we don't really play it like that live. It's electric most of the time. So.
Yeah, adaptability is definitely something that's important when playing live, I'm sure. I mean, you guys are taking it from the smallest little venues to places that can house quite a few more, you know what I mean? So what's it like playing in a place that's huge versus a place where you can fit about 25? Have you guys had to deal with that situation where it's kind of like, oh man, we really gotta really get the sound out there today?
I have no issue because I'm slamming on the drums, no matter if we're playing at HR Steinhouse or we're playing at, Mr. Smalls or whatever. But the sound is important, and getting that sound out to who's ever listening is a challenge at some points because, as you guys stated, we do have some dynamics that we want to, get across, and we want to, take you kind of for a roller coaster ride. And I think the way Matt plays, and Chris on guitars, and even Jake with bass and guitar as well, they really do a good job kind of emitting what we're trying to put forth.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of times you guys are kind of giving up the personal showmanship for the greater good of the band, and that's something that I think most great bands share, that they can,
for sure,
get rid of that personal glory to it.
Yeah, actually, we let everyone do their part. I think that's the beauty about Herbivore is, most of the time I'll come with kind of a structure of a song, and then, whatever else is over top of what I'm playing is everybody else. So they're doing their parts, and I hardly ever have any qualms with what they're doing. They actually, excellent musicians, everyone in the band, and everyone's writing stuff all the time. So, just really awesome to play with those dudes because they're just great all around, and it's more than just music for us. We're just best friends. So.
And before we get into another track, I want to ask you one question about who some might call the most mysterious member of Herbivore, Mr. Householder. What can you tell me about that man? Why don't I know anything about him?
Floor dweller.
Oh, Kevin grew up in Greensburg, Pennsylvania with me. Graduated from Hempfield, and we got to know each other, just hang out with the same people, and we went to Bonnaroo together. And that was it was just such a random experience. It was like the first time we ever hung out more than like a day. And then we were together for 4 days or 3 days or whatever. And then I ended up living with him in Pittsburgh for a summer. And we played some music. And that's the summer he met Matt, actually, 2015 summer in Pittsburgh. And the rest is history.
Kevin's a crazy kid.
Oh, Kevin loves the Beatles, too.
He analyzes the Beatles and the Fibonacci sequence. He puts the Fibonacci sequence to everything. It
makes it sound awesome.
That's how the world turns for Kevin. He's a crazy kid. He just graduated from electrical engineering at Pitt.
Oh,
so
nice.
He's super just spazzed out.
He's locking into those deep inner truths, of the world.
Yeah. Fractals. I think that was our first conversation, was fractals.
He'll be sure to talk to you about how bad the traffic is as soon as you see him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The traffic does suck, though.
He's notorious for that.
Well, and you got to make that trip, not to hold you off before your song, but man, having people living in Pittsburgh, having people living in Indiana, I mean, that's a distance.
Yeah,
you
even
gotta
as far south as
tackle.
Maryland. We got Jake down in Maryland.
Oh, man.
A lot of the times we record our practices and send it down to Jake, and he practices that way, and we don't see him until we play a show. And so, you make it work that way. So
That's very interesting, very surprising. So, could we have another song, please?
yeah, I'm going to do this next one. It's called Sleepin' Butte. It's a newer one. Not sure if my voice is going to be able to handle this one, but we're going to try it.
All right, let's do it. It's 90.1 WIUP FM, local Limelight. We got Herbivore in the studio. Take it away when you're ready, guys.
1, 2, 3, 4.
As I woke up today and I saw the sunshine in her face, she's laying haven't you found what you've searched for your whole life? From a surreptitious gaze, a smile as she sleeps, a thing of beauty to admire.
Thank you. I love the snaps.
Oh, yeah, we keep it gentle up in here.
Of course.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it gentle for the rest of the night too, so that's good.
Cool. I think what's funny, when you guys first came in here and used the word dynamic, I was a little suspicious. I was like, it's a bold word to come out with.
Oh yeah.
But I'd say this has been a fun show, and I think this is the most like moving parts we've had, at least since I've been on the show.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm really enjoying it.
Thanks,
Very
man.
cool.
Thank you.
Well, that's good to hear. We're dishing out a lot of new stuff right now, and I think one thing you'll realize if you listen to our songs is that there's really no common theme. There's no sound that we can really put a name to. But I think that keeps it, for the listeners, each song is different. And there's not one song that sounds like the other one, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys have listened to the album. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of all over the place. We're actually working on another album right now, and it's got a more direct sound. It's more thematic. But we're also have been working more as a conglomerate since we recorded the college years. So there's more input from everybody else, and not just me coming to the guys with all these ideas and whatnot. So
Yeah, we also we're also working on we're working on an EP too. So we had like these songs, and especially for me when I was coming in, Jake, Matt, Chris, they knew each other already. They were playing a lot of these songs, and when I got with them, it was like, especially for the first album, it was like, well, what songs do we put on? There's some songs on the second album that I particularly wanted on the first album, or I liked enough that I would have totally had them on the first album, but everything works out for a reason, and the EP songs seem to be kind of outliers, as much as that's hard to say with some of the songs, but they're just as fun, and it's hopefully out soon.
yeah, those EP songs that are coming out are kind of just lost loves. They don't really fit anywhere.
Wait, that's what they said about the White Album, and that turned out to be one of the greatest albums of all time.
Truth. So yeah, I mean, we write so many different. Like I said, everybody who's in the band has so many different styles of music, and we're writing just so many different genres. From blues to indie to alternative to just punk ska. So like, we kind of like putting it all. Any song that we can come up with, we're trying to put out there. So.
Do you think that's helpful in keeping things fresh? Keeping things moving and something new every day?
For us, it is.
Like,
I'm not sure for the listeners if that's the case. But
No, I think it is. I can't speak for anyone else but myself and probably the people in the band, but it keeps me on my toes, and it's fun because it's sometimes if I'm even newer stuff, not even stuff that we're just Matt and I are jamming, we're roommates, so it's sometimes I'm just down there playing a drum beat, and he's like, oh, I've been playing this riff, and then we just kind of make the two compatible. I think we're playing a song tonight that he wrote a riff for, and then he sent it to me when we weren't even anything official, and I was in Pittsburgh, he was here, and he sent it to me, and I was like, okay. And then I sent him back my idea of the drum beat, and he's like, I did not expect any of that. But
it changed the entire feel of the song. So
it does keep it fresh.
Speaking of putting your music out there, we ask this question every show. Where can we find your music if we want to get into it, dig into it?
Everywhere and anywhere, man. We're on every single platforms that I don't even know exist.
Yeah, so that doesn't help you really much. So basically, if you follow us on the, Instagram, Herbivore, it used to be Herbivore IUP, but Nick decided to change that because of maybe copyright reasons.
It's not Herbivore IUP?
No, it's Herbivore band.
I should know that.
I don't know. I actually don't know. Herbivore. There's not many Herbivore bands, but there are a few. Find us on Instagram. Find us on Twitter.
Facebook.
And then there's links in there. There's Spotify. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Music.
Google Play.
The big ones. Yeah, Google Play. YouTube, though. We need love on our YouTube page. Everyone go to the YouTube page,
Check out
please.
that YouTube page.
Yeah, we're trying to update our YouTube page a little bit, put some like just not just the music on there, but like more just videos of what we've been doing and stuff. And
That's cool.
so yeah, I mean we got the GoPro now, and it's been helping us a little bit.
And it's going right now, correct? The GoPro is active.
It
as
is
we
active
speak.
right now, of
Hey,
course.
So
yes.
maybe you'll get to see a little bit.
We
of
actually
that.
record everything. We have probably not even exact like 1,000 gigs worth of recorded stuff that's never been we just record everything. So
That's wild. And YouTube's huge right now. And it sounds so strange to be like YouTube's huge right now. You know, like,
that did sound
because-
strange when you
Yeah,
just hearing that.
because
I'm like, oh,
it
is it?
makes me sound like an old person who's removed from the whole thing, but also B, like, if you had told me 5 years ago, like, hey man, YouTube's going to be huge in a couple years, I'd have been like, well, YouTube's just, it is what it is, right? I mean, of course it has always been and will always be huge, but not like now. Not like now, man. It is done something.
People are like making a living on it. It's pretty absurd.
People are becoming millionaires.
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah, not
It's
even making a living, they're making
it's really absurd.
Yeah.
A lot of people like talk about what they could do if they go back in time. I probably would have told 13-year-old me to get a webcam or something.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure my Minecraft Let's Plays would have been absolutely riveting.
Didn't the creator of YouTube go here?
He did. He doesn't like us.
Is that-
either.
is that-
Chad
about
Hurley.
that.
We don't
We
know.
don't talk-
We don't talk. Okay.
Chad Hurley's
Hurley.
not a fan of ours.
Well, we don't know.
Wow.
Or maybe
He
maybe he
doesn't
doesn't
support
think
it?
about us anymore.
Who's to
but
say? Who's to say? He donated that track, I think, so that's awesome. But
I think that's
a
what
4-track.
I think that's what it all stems. I'm not gonna get too into
4-track.
like yeah. I don't know. It's something about like money and all that. Either way,
who knows? I am so interested. Say you stumbled on a band like Herbivore on YouTube, because that's a wonderful thing about YouTube or any of these platforms, that you can stumble on bands. This is the first time, Christian, John, Allen, first time for all three of you here in Herbivore? Never heard him before? Yes?
Yeah, it's first time.
This is your first time here in Herbivore. We got to get some first impressions, right? What's like? What do you want to? What do you want to eat while you listen to Herbivore? You know what I mean?
What do I want to eat when I
Yeah.
listen to this? What music? What would I want to eat to this music?
Look these two grown men in the eyes and tell them what you would eat while you listen to their music.
You know, the name makes me want a salad, but
don't break eye contact.
I will not. I'm staring you down. What do I want to eat? Popcorn. I want some popcorn.
That's a
right
perfect
now.
answer.
I want some
That's a great
popcorn right
answer.
now.
Well, we
Yeah.
actually have a side song called "I Don't Want Dinner, I Just Want Beer." Is that what it's?
Yeah.
So we
No, I want popcorn. Yeah, that's it.
so
I was thinking more like pudding,
Pudding's good too.
or putting on popcorn.
Do you like
maybe.
tapioca, or do you just like it? You don't like texture in your pudding?
I don't like texture. in my
No.
pudding.
Okay.
Well,
Honestly,
guys,
I haven't had it in a while.
honestly, if you haven't seen us, like this is 2/5, and not even, because usually he's surrounded by a drum set. Usually I got a couple amps behind me, and we
That's how it
have
works.
3 other dudes in the band too, so they're all putting their own input into it. So I guess now's a good time to promote the show. We're having potentially our last Indiana show.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's going to be the end of the semester, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. So of course it'll be
Brown.
a fiesta.
Down at the
Fiesta
Brown.
at the Brown. Yeah, good old
Yeah,
Brown.
it's a Saturday night.
Give love to the Brown.
Heck yeah.
It's a Saturday night. I know you're not, you're tired of woofies and culps and all that, so come on down to the Brown.
That's right.
It's going to be a good time. We're bringing in a good band from Greensburg. They're actually blowing up right now. They're called Vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a real good night, and we'd love to see everybody out there.
We might have something in order for you guys too for some
Yeah.
new stuff.
Maybe some
yeah?
exclusive handouts for all those
Yeah.
who come out to the show.
All right, yo. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Local Limelight, baby.
Nick, you heard it. Get on that.
Yeah, Nick, start mixing if you're listening.
You just heard your ultimatum.
Yeah.
But yeah, check that out down at the Brown. I mean, check out the Brown Hotel on Facebook. Check out Herbivore on Facebook for more information on that. I'm sure they'll be passing it around, passing it along. Cinco de Mayo, Brown Hotel, Indiana, PA, Herbivore.
Yes, sir.
Herbivore, can we get another tune from you?
Yeah, okay. This one's off the college years. It's called My Crutch. Pretty personal song. Wrote it about one of my good friends who struggled with depression and whatnot, so this is about that.
And real quick before you get started, how many more songs tonight?
However
Whatever you guys
however it works
Okay.
out.
Tell us.
Who knows?
Sounds
However
wonderful.
it works out, we'll make it work.
It's 90.1 WIUP FM.
stop forcing it all down. I'd hate to see you cry, but if you let it out, just know I'd be the guy right there by your side. And it might just clear your mind. Prince, deep structure of your mind is trying hard to fight and make its way outside. It dissipates your light that won't shine so bright. And it might just clear your mind to tell you why I tried. Girl, you've been in bed all day. It's more obvious than you think. It's time to break these chains, because they're leaving scars across your wrists. It wraps around your heart in twists. Depressed and unwillingness to try, it rips at your insides. You need to realize the impact that you have on all of our lives. So it might just clear your mind to tell you why I tried. It's for you and only you, and for all the things you do for me. It's your light that guides me home, and it's all I'll ever know. It's for you and only you. Just see, I want it all for you, and I'll take none for me. Because without you, you see, there'd be no me. I want it all for you, and I'll take none for me. I want it all for you, now baby, can't you see? I want it all for you, and I'll take none for me. Because without you, you see, there'd be no me. I want it all for you, and I'll take none for me. I want it all for you, and I'll take it all for free.
Thank you.
Herbivore in the studio. WIUP FM, local Limelight. I got a question for you, Matt. Are you the sole writer of the lyrics in this band?
For this
Yes.
album, yes.
For the college years, yes? Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question. It seems like a lot of your songs are about either friends, people who I assume are your friends, maybe they're your family, maybe they're just people you know. Is that always somewhere that you've drawn inspiration from?
I try to, I always end up writing about girls, which I'm trying to stop getting. I'm trying to get away from that. It's just so easy to do, though. And I feel like a lot of artists fall into that trap, and it gets oversaturated. So if you're going to write about women, you need to make it a little tasteful. So I try to make it a bit poetic.
But I think what you do, I mean, I didn't know that when I first heard the songs, and I think it can relate to a lot of things in life, not to be like very vague, but it could.
Right.
And
honestly,
that's coming from you, I think. You know,
that's what I do strive for. I feel like if you're going to write a song, a lot of music that we listen to is pretty anecdotal. A lot of the artists we listen to, they sing about their experiences, and it's, in a way you can, you can't relate to that specific moment, but generally you can relate to the way they were feeling and stuff like that. So, you try to do that without being too specific about the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a great Herbivore song that sadly we can't play on the radio tonight with some of the lyrics. Foaming from his mouth, get this man some help.
Yeah,
sadly we can't play on the radio due to its lyrical content, but that's an incredible.
Song, actually, Anthony and I wrote together
story.
the lyrics for that song. So
that was due to two experiences that we both had.
Yeah.
Separate, but yeah.
Yeah, we don't necessarily need to dig into that, but I just want to say that's a great anecdote, a great I don't know, just a great lyrical song.
But other than
Thank
that,
you.
yeah, most of them are just about, the college experience from my viewpoint these last couple years, at least on the college years. So
Yeah, I think there's a college album in almost every college band. Whether they name it the college years or not, there's a college album in almost every college band. Because it is kind of it's like a bubble. You exist in a bubble briefly for 4 years. Like
we talk about it all the time, dude.
Yeah.
It's a cruel thing, honestly. Like, just to, you get so submerged, I guess, rather, in this environment, and then as quick as it started, it ends, and then you're on your own. And
Yeah, we hope to kind of, at least when I listen to the college years, I hope to evoke that. We've talked about the different transitions and progressions of that album, but when I kind of come down to it, it's the progression of kind of, going through my experience here at Indiana, starting off fun and in your face kind of, and gullible, and ending kind of looking back and in kind of, yeah, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but sadness, I guess, but happiness.
Bittersweet.
That's called ambivalence, Anthony. When you have two conflicting
You studied
emotions.
the
at
GRE
once.
words, didn't you, man?
I think that, I don't know. As a college student, when was the last time you saw yourself truly represented in any form of media? Anyways, and Monsters University doesn't count. So,
Well, I think it's like a very hard. It's because it is very subjective. It's hard to say the college years.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? What does that mean to me? What does that mean to any? And now everyone that's not in college wants to tell college kids this is how it is. It's like, oh well, that's not how it is for me. So.
Yeah, and we kind of allude to just the, if you listen to the college years, it starts off with like a ticking clock and it ends with a ticking clock, and that's kind of just like an allusion to, your time here will eventually run out and dissipate and fade. So enjoy it while it lasts, everybody.
That's my biggest fear, I gotta say, personally.
Clocks?
Just like clocks in general, just the sound of them. No, just aging, man. Like,
Yeah, man.
No, take it. Don't be afraid of it. I mean,
yeah, I think
Take
you're
it from
right.
here. He's almost 25. Anthony turns 25 on graduation day.
yeah, and it's not undergrad. I didn't spend 5 years of my life here or 6. Yeah, it's bittersweet growing up, and Indiana especially is bittersweet. We came here wanting to go out and listen to music and listen to bands. We didn't really want to do the whole frat party or whatever, but now that you got Shades, you have Face of Apes, you have Sean Howard's orchestra's doing his thing. There's so many other bands in Indiana that are getting out and playing, and it's really cool to see. Even like HR hold these events that let underagers and everyone come and enjoy it.
Yeah, that really didn't happen when we first came up here. So
No way.
It was cool.
I think speaking of that, there's been a shift, and it's been there's people who've made concerted efforts to make it a better place for music, and that's an awesome thing. Whether it's folks at the Brown, folks at HR Steinhaus, Steve's
shout
like
out
a
to
day
Steve
and
Holiday.
night.
He's like a warrior, yeah. He's just in it. I love it.
Yeah, and people who kind of just barely preceded us. You think of your Kat Zisks, your Eric Agstons. We had kind of some wonderful people kind of get things ready for us, and now the town's been turned over into the capable hands of a bunch of local musicians who do a wonderful job. Whether it's Herbivore, Face of Apes, you got
Inclusion is
Shades of the
great.
Rising Sun. Yeah,
Inclusion is a really cool thing.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
wish people took it a little more seriously sometimes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Speaking of inclusion, if any of our listeners maybe want to take part in the show tonight, are the lines open?
The lines are way, 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 way open.
I don't know.
They may
Alan
be
pays the
agape.
bill.
They
So.
may be expensive, but there was a surplus in the budget, and we're going to allow it.
What's that local line, Christian?
Oh, me. Okay. 724-357-9487. And I'm gonna let Joe say it one more time now that you've probably got your pen and paper out.
I'm gonna hit you with 724. You ready? 357. That's a 9487 for the local Limelight. Local Limelight. You can call in. You can give feedback to these good dudes on the other side of this desk from Herbivore who are playing you some music. You want to talk to them about their music? Call us. 724-357-9487. One more time from Big Play J.
Oh, it's about to be a big play here, folks. 724-357-9487. Sidney Crosby, God bless.
Oh yeah, they're up. They're up right now. And
What's the score?
First caller, send us your address, and we'll send you a free T-shirt, free 2 pins or whatever, and a free CD. So get on those lines and call in.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, Anthony.
Also, so everyone knows, Joe doesn't look at the little taped up sheet with the number on it. He makes that very clear to everyone in the studio that he is the most dedicated local Limelight host here. He looks at me right in the eyes every time he says it. So
He's so cool.
Hey, man, Alan pays the bills around here.
he's a veteran.
Hey, you talk about getting old. Anybody notice any wrinkles on themselves past like a year or two?
It's just you, bro.
Really, I've noticed too.
I got white hairs, that's for sure.
For sure. Really?
Man, I'm jealous.
There's like some of my weird mustache I have growing.
It looks good.
Thanks.
Anthony
Thanks, good.
Bourdain over here.
People, my buddy Crash went gray when he was like 14. Coolest thing ever. When you're 14 years old, you have some gray hair. It's, like,
It's
you're the
either
coolest-
it's either
you're the
like
coolest guy in
great
the world.
or it's just like not good when you get older.
Yeah, Nick, he records us. He's got the whole gray side head right going on right now. It's insane.
He looks like the Touch of Grey guy
Yeah.
on the box. It's perfect.
I had a friend who joked about using Touch of Grey now that he was in college. If you were listening, Riley McKee, I miss you. He's definitely not listening, by the way.
Hey, you guys were talking about some free T-shirts and pins. You guys got some great merch. That shirt with the Herbivore himself on it with the logo. That's
The
a nice
dino,
shirt, man.
Yeah, all those designs were made by my buddy Tim Brown. He kind of has like this nice cartoony feel, and it kind of brings like a childish kind of playful spunk, I guess, to the band. Amidst all the seriousness of the music and whatnot, so that we kind of
totally missed it.
Yeah, we kind of we kind of want to project that kind of because we're fun guys, but we like to get serious.
Even
about
Nick
tunes.
called me last night. He goes, "How are we branding ourselves?" I was like, "The Dino seems to be working all right." I don't know what else we do, but yeah, no, thanks Tim for that. If you're listening, probably not. And who we've had other people though that helped us with some art.
Christian Colton, he made us
Christian
an
Colton,
awesome
yeah.
design that we're trying to make into a poster right now. We have so much to do, and there's just not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
I was shooting a little news piece for WIUP, or not WIUP, IUP TV News, and I was filming this young man named Jaden at this film festival, and he had a pin on, and I was like, "You got cool pins?" He's like, "Yeah, this one's Herbivore." I was like, "What? You guys made it onto the news?"
Jaden's just like such a team player. He comes out to all the local shows.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
He's taking some good photos for us.
You guys accidentally made a cameo on the news thanks to Jaden.
Oh, that's perfect. Thanks for free advertisement. That's always good.
Herbivore, we're ready.
All right, we got 2 more songs. This one seems to be a notorious favorite from what we hear. It's called Empty Water Bottles, which is going to sound a little weird with just the acoustic guitar, but we'll make it work.
Hey, as long as it's radio friendly, we're happy to have it.
Oh, it is. I stare, and all around that I see, from the clouds down to the trees, they all breathe in and sync with me. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm a part of the earth, the wind, the stars. There's a thought in my head you should know, but I can't seem to let it flow. You exhale a funnel of smoke. We transcend and watch new life forms evolve. I hear these colors speak to me and whisper gently in my ear. You're free, so live like it's some more. And for the first time in my life, I can feel my aching heart imploring me to start. Well, there's a thought in my head you should know, and you do, as you start to read my mind. There's no turning back now, we're in deep. So we dream without getting any sleep. Without getting any sleep. Without getting any sleep. Thank you. A very modified version of Empty Water Bottles.
Very cool. Very cool. I gotta say, that song makes me want to eat a carrot dipped in some smooth ranch.
Okay.
That's right. Smooth
That's what I've
provoked
been eating
it.
for the past 2 days. That's funny you say that.
You brought it out of him. You brought it out of Big Plate J.
As opposed to crunchy ranch, of course.
There's Crunchy Ranch?
There's Cool Ranch.
Cool Ranch
Which is
is
called Cool American in other countries, which I found very funny.
What?
Yeah, apparently Cool Ranch is called Cool American. Also, when I was in India, was it the sour cream and onion is also called like Cool American, and Cool Ranch is just
all
called,
weird
they
white
just kinda
substances are
alternate whichever one
American.
is the Cool American flavor. So.
awesome.
You guys mentioned you're trying to get a poster made. What posters do you guys have in your bedrooms, in your houses?
Great question.
Great question.
The living room's filled with Pittsburgh sports stuff because I
love that. That's funny. I like that.
We're Yinzers.
Yeah, we're definitely Yinzers. I mean, your room is pretty bare. He's a minimalist. I have Roberto Clemente.
Right.
I love Roberto. And Audrey Hepburn. A really nice headshot of Audrey Hepburn.
yeah.
I found at Goodwill.
That's a good one. I like
yeah.
that.
That's about it.
Yeah,
She
we
got
got
like
the
the long
Tupac poster in the
cigarette stick.
basement.
We have Tupac in the basement. We have like an old Green Day one that my sister gave
Oh,
me.
we got the Jim. We have Jimmy Stewart actually. in
Oh yeah,
frame.
we can talk for another.
We
half
actually
hour
need to
about
get
Jimmy
some
Stewart.
light shining on that one because he's like the inspiration for all of us.
Yeah.
Come back on for our Jimmy Stewart Power Hour. Every Saturday at 3.
So we're talking about all the prominent people from IUP. Dude from YouTube, which we won't count. Jimmy Stewart from Indiana, and the Clarks. We can't forget the Clarks.
Yeah.
The Clarks are. We like to troll the Clarks, but we love the Clarks.
Anthony, tell me about the Clarks, yo. I don't know. I'm in Sunbury, PA boy. I don't know anything about the Clarks.
Oh, the Clarks were Indiana boys. They went here in the late '80s, early '90s, and they blew up. I mean, definitely the tri-state area. They're huge, but they're doing it. You know, they're doing their thing. So.
Yeah.
There's a lot of famous people I kind of like retroactively found out were from Pittsburgh. Like, who's the guy from Jurassic Park?
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Homestead. I found that out. The bassist from the Talking Heads is from Pittsburgh.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's Talking Heads have a huge following around Pittsburgh for that reason.
I just found that out.
That's
like,
so cool.
over the past year.
Just
Andy Warhol,
Yeah.
Bruno Sammartino, R.I.P. died today.
Christina
famous
Aguilera,
wrestler.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Just had the chance a couple weeks ago to see Scott Blasey from the Clarks, their singer-songwriter dude.
Nice.
He played in Indiana up
that's cool.
in the top of an old building to a select crew. Some awesome stuff happening there. But the Clarks, man, they set the tone. They set the.
They did.
If we could take, I don't think we've had a chance ever on Local Limelight to talk Clarks for 1 second.
They're like
but
college rock.
Yeah.
His definition, especially around that time.
Get him on the show.
They are.
I think they need the limelight.
Hey, I wonder if anybody can get a hold of them. 724-357-9487. Give us a call, please. We love you. We respect you so much.
We'll blow him up on Twitter.
They
or
used
something.
to keep a snake. He told a story between songs. They used to keep a snake, and this was something that I could totally imagine Herbivore doing. They used to keep a snake like in their room because they lived together, and they cared for this enormous, like, in my mind, I don't know if I'm remembering the story right. In my mind, it was one of those like big yellow like
Probably a python.
pythons. Yeah. And he said they like get it out at parties and stuff, let it hang around. And
You seen the guy on Philly Street walking around with the snake?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd recommend getting too close. It's cool to look at from a distance, but I wouldn't go talk to the guy.
Are you say the guy or the snake?
Snake's not much for conversation, I've found. But.
Oh, hey, time's running out on this show. Let's get to that last song.
Oh.
All right, we'll jump right to it. This is, of course, a cliche love song, so nice upbeat song to end the night on. So hope you guys
Lovely.
enjoy. It's called Anne Cecilia. It's actually the middle name of my ex-girlfriend. She asked me what her middle name was. I didn't know. So I wrote a song so I'd never forget. So it's called Anne Cecilia.
This is Herbivore in the studio.
Won't you?
Can't you see my love for you, Aunt Cecilia? Because I thought by now that I made it quite clear. And all I'd ever need is to be near you and hold you every single day of the year. So open up your mind and flow into me, 'cause you can tell me what you think and how you feel. And when you're down, I'd be around to pick you up and take you out into the town to show you how my love is real. Just call me your porcupine only. If I can call you mine, girl, I hope it's just a phase. You're the only one for me, Aunt Cecilia. But that just didn't happen overnight. Maybe it was that gaze that saw right through me, or the way you moved your feet by firelight. Well, I stumbled to that cabin just to see you and to tell you what I think and how I feel. But in my drunken state of mind, I forgot the words to every line that I rehearsed 1,000 times, and it haunts me still. Just call me your porcupine only. If I can call you mine, girl, I hope it's just a phase. Won't you come a little closer? 'Cause I miss you, baby. Won't you come a little closer? Or don't you miss me, baby? Won't you come a little closer? Because I miss you, baby. Won't you come a little closer? Or don't you miss me, baby? Thank you.
Ooh, what a night. What a night with Herbivore.
Yeah, thanks a
Thank
lot
you
for
so
having us
much.
on here.
some dynamic tunes from Herbivore. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's 90.1 WIUP FM. We're your local Limelight, bringing the best live local music out of Indiana, Pennsylvania. So lucky tonight to be joined by Herbivore. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Anthony.
Guys,
Sir,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Keep doing what you're doing.
The whole crew.
We'll
It's
love it.
Great.
Check them out online.
Likewise, buddy.
For sure.
That was great.
Hey, they got a show coming up, Cinco de Mayo at the Brown Hotel. Check that out. It's going to be great. Check them out on Spotify. The College Years is up there. Check them out. Just send these guys some love on YouTube. Send them some YouTube love, too, while you're at it. Open up a couple tabs. Show some love.
Couple Herbivore tabs.
Hey, that's our night. We're so happy to have been here with you. It's 90.1 WIUP FM. Tune in next Wednesday.